Ladies and gentlemen, it is day 2 of the Kunal Kamra versus Eknath Shinde war. Question is, has the joke gone on too far or has the outrage? Sources close to Kamra are claiming that as many as 500 threat calls have been received by the stand-up comedian, with multiple complaints filed against him. Even the venue of the comedy show, the Habitat in Khar, continued to face demolition, with BMC officials turning up for the second day in a row. Despite all the drama and demolition, there's no keeping Kamra down. He has made it clear he will not apologize, and he certainly won't hide from the mob coming after him. He also said that bulldozing the comedy club is a bit like attacking a truck full of tomatoes if you didn't like the butter chicken. Forget backing off. He's in fact doubling down on his statements. Take a look at this video that he's posted on X, which has clips of the vandalism the Shiv Sena has indulged in. Meanwhile, Eknath Shinde, Maharashtra's Deputy Chief Minister, is justifying the vandalism and the threats against Kunal Kamra. He says Kamra's actions seem to suggest that he's got a supari from the opposition to defame him. The opposition is incensed at this clean chit, but the BJP is calling it karma.
रिएक्शन कभी प्लान नहीं होती है और जो भी रिएक्ट करने वाले थे वो ऐसे बाहर आके, अगर आप देखें तो वहाँ पुलिस बंदोबस्त भी था। मेरा तो यही सवाल है कि इनसे जो भी नुकसान हुआ है उसकी कोई कॉम्पेंसेशन लेने वाले हैं कि नहीं, और फिर क्या इस राज्य में ऐसे रिएक्ट करने को आप लेजिटिमेसी देते हो? और देखिए, ये क्लिप तो मैंने पहले नहीं देखी थी, इन्होंने तोड़फोड़ करने के बाद दुनिया भर ने क्लिप देखी है और उसने तो नाम भी नहीं लिया था। इन्होंने खुद कह दिया, स्वयं कह दिया। लेकिन इससे भी एक गंभीर विषय ये है, चलो कुणाल कामरा तो कॉमेडियन है, उसको 1 मिनट के लिए बाजू में रखते हैं, खुद के सांसद इनको सांप बुलाते हैं, कैसे चलेगा? जहरीला सांप कहते हैं इनको।
वो ये कह रहे हैं कि आपको सुपारी दी।
अरे गद्दार थे।
किसी का जो है अपमान करना, उसकी अपकीर्ति करना, देखिए जो लोगों ने आप चाहे सरकार देखिए, सत्ता देखिए, जिस इंसान के पास उसकी इज्जत ही सब कुछ है, आप जो है कॉमेडी के नाम पर उनकी इज्जत उछाल रहे हैं, उनकी अपकीर्ति कर रहे हैं, उनके काम को डिसरिगार्ड कर रहे हैं। शिंदे जी जो है वो कभी किसी जमाने में रिक्शा चलाया करते थे, आज वो अपने दम पर इतना आगे आए हैं। और ये कौन, इनके खुद की क्या क्रेडेंशियल्स है? कौन है ये लोग जो कुछ जिंदगी में कर नहीं पाए? गाली गलौज करना कॉमेडी के नाम पर, हमारे ग्रंथों का मजाक उड़ाना कॉमेडी के नाम पर, लोगों का मजाक उड़ाना, और माताओं बहनों का मजाक उड़ाना। अभी आपने देखा किस तरह के ये इन्फ्लुएंसर्स आजकल खुद को कह रहे हैं। तो मैं कहती हूँ कि हमारा समाज कहाँ जाता जा रहा है? इन्फ्लुएंसर ये जो एक 2 मिनट की फेम के लिए कहाँ जाता जा रहा है?
Now, Neta Kangana may be defending the violent reaction to Shinde's insult, but actor Kangana herself, if you remember, was at the receiving end of a thin-skinned government when her production house in Mumbai was demolished by the BMC after she criticized the then-ruling Mahavikas Aghadi in the state. She had said Mumbai, some parts of it, had started resembling POK. Yes, this is the same Aghadi which is now standing up for Kamra's freedom of speech. Here's the fact, ladies and gentlemen. In our country, comedians, actors, cartoonists, and even professors have all faced political rage for expressing their views from politicians of every color. Actor Ketki Chitale, you remember her, was arrested for sharing a derogatory poem against Sharad Pawar and faced a barrage of cases and was jailed by Uddhav Thackeray, who was the then chief minister. Then there was cartoonist Asim Trivedi. He had been arrested for sedition when he was critical of the UPA government. And then, of course, we know of stand-up artist Munawar Farooqi, who was behind bars for months for allegedly disrespecting Home Minister Amit Shah. Ambikesh Mahapatra, a professor, was arrested for sharing a cartoon mocking Mamta Banerjee. Even today, Savakku Shankar, a YouTuber, had sewage poured in his house by an angry mob after he criticized the police under the DMK government. Essentially, ladies and gentlemen, intolerance has no ideology. When it comes to our politicians, all of them, across party lines, seem to lack a funny bone and any sort of tolerance for any criticism. So when a stand-up comic is treated as a terrorist by a ruling government, the joke, ladies and gentlemen, is truly on us. My guests this evening, let me quickly introduce them to you. Ali Daruwala is spokesperson of the BJP, joining us on the broadcast. Advocate Sushil Vyas is national spokesperson of the Shinde Sena, of the Shiv Sena, joining us on the broadcast. Clyde Crasto is the national spokesperson of the NCP. Tehseen Poonawalla is a political analyst. Also joining us in a bit will be PK Jain. He's a former additional DGP of Maharashtra. Gentlemen, thank you very much for being with us here on the broadcast. Advocate Sushil Vyas, since you are the national spokesperson of the Shiv Sena, I do think that the first question should go to you. Look at some of the utterances that have come from your netas, elected members of parliament and assemblies. The Deputy Chief Minister of the state, who is your leader, Eknath Shinde, says every action has an equal reaction. Is he then justifying the vandalism at the comedy club where Kamra performed? Then you have an elected MP from your party saying, "Isko India mein nahi rehne denge." There's another MLA who is saying, "Kabhi na kabhi to milega, bahar aayega." What exactly is the crime he has committed, may I know?
Shreya ji, Kunal Kamra's video, I hope and trust that you must have seen that. And it was not merely a comedy, as you were saying in your opening remark. It was with a malafide intention. It was recorded, as per my information, long back, but uploaded now. See, the time was very crucial. Satish Salyan, the father of Disha Salyan, who was just, under suspicious circumstances, died in June 2020. When he filed petition in Mumbai High Court 3 days back, why suddenly this video was uploaded? And why is it suddenly Kunal? And who was the first person to retweet his video which he just uploaded on X? So these are the facts which force us to think. This is not merely a comedy. This is a politically motivated malafide intention, act with a malafide intention. And if that is so, the law should take its own course, and accordingly, a FIR is filed against it. Now, reaction to this video. Yes, we
but
love our
is
leader.
Is this the law taking its own course? Mr. Vyas, on our screens, your workers at the comedy club, is this the law taking its own course, sir?
I'm sorry, Shreya ji, I was just starting about this incident also, and then you just tried to say something. I was just coming to that only. So I said that as my leader said, every action has a reaction. But I don't justify in that way. I said, we love our leader. Like earlier, Hindu Hriday Samrat Bala Saheb Thackeray's words was the last word for us. Like now our Supreme Commander and Supreme Leader is Eknath Shinde. If somebody tries to damage his image, somebody tries to say something derogatory, defamatory against him, definitely the rank and file will, get disturbed. And in that mindset, if somebody has taken their steps, and law has said, then nobody has stopped filing cases against those people also, those who have vandalized this Habitat Club. They are also booked. They are also arrested. They were produced before the magistrate. FIR is filed. 20 people are named. 20 people are unnamed. They will also be arrested. So it's not that those who have taken law into their hand are spared. They are also arrested. The FIR is against them. So both sides, you must see both the sides. One can understand if the government in power, Shinde's government, has saved them, they have no FIR is filed, they are not booked, they are not been arrested, then criticism, yes, fair enough. But the rank and file, you can't stop when the Supreme Leader, somebody is defamatory way making this kind of videos. Definitely, our workers are going to react. But unfortunately, they should not have reacted in this way. I must say that.
Okay. So you're saying that Shiv Sena's leaders and their workers don't have the capacity to take a joke against their leader? They are that insecure, that a joke they think will threaten the image of their leader. How's that possible? It's just a joke. You may not like it. You asked me whether I'd seen Kunal Kamra's videos. Trust me, 99.9999% of India, Mr. Vyas had not seen Kunal Kamra's videos till the vandalism happened. Till you guys made a tamasha out of it.
Shreya ji, it's very easy to say that it was just a joke. a person who loves his image, a person who's a self-respect loving person, if somebody tries to damage that image and just try to hit you the way with a political intention and playing in the hands of your political opponents, then definitely what kind of reaction should be there? That reaction was there, and it's unfortunate. The manner in which it should have, it was done, it should not have been done. But if it has done, the law has taken its own course.
I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Okay, let Clyde Crasto come in. Clyde Crasto, essentially the argument of the Shiv Sena is this was not just a joke. This had malafide intentions, and the real aim actually was to divert attention from a case in which Aditya Thackeray's name is cropping up over and over again. Timing samajhiye.
Shreya, the timing that you're talking about, or the spokespersons are talking about, first and foremost, they only publicize this video. Like you're saying, half the people, more than half the people didn't even know who they're talking about. There's a large section of people who watch this stand-up comedy who have got nothing to do with politics and they don't even know who they're talking about. Kamra did not take anybody's name. The Shiv Sena came out and said the name is this. And that's when people started talking about it. So the publicity and the whole thing was brought out in the open by the Shiv Sena. So they only diverted so-called attention. They should have not done it. Even people like us who give bites in the morning got a call, Kamra ne kuch bola hai, aapka kya reaction hai? Kya bola hai? Kahan hai video? Then we went and searched and we found that something like this. I said, then I'm searching for what name did he take? No name. There's, these people are saying there's insinuation. That they brought it out and they publicized. They are taking it to a different level. Yes, you have to draw the line. There is freedom of speech. There is freedom of expression. But also you need to draw the line. But has he taken a name? You are going around telling people that this is my name, and it's been told to me. And that's where it all started. And there it's all gone up. So from there. So I think somewhere the Shiv Sena themselves have lost the plot. They don't know what they're trying to do. See, these people who went there and broke that club or broke that premises are those people who want to score brownie points. They want to make sure the leader looks at them and say, "Ha, hamare liye kuch kiya, changla kaam kiya tumi." That's why they're going and doing everything. But they're taking law in their hands. And also, the larger picture here is, like we've been saying it for a long time now, the law and order situation in Maharashtra is so dismal that people like this, whether there are people committing crime or vandalism, vandals who are going out and breaking things, they know that they can commit the crime and the law will not take its course. The Shivsena spokesperson said that, there have been charges being filed and everything. They're out on bail. So they will commit that crime again. They'll do vandalism again get charge sheeted, again come out on bail. So this will go on. They're trying to create fear in the minds of people when they're expressing something. I am saying this very clearly. If he had named, if he had specifically said something, yes, he would have crossed the line. You take all the necessary action. We have our judiciary. We have our law in place. Let the law take its course. Why are you going out on the street or why are you going to somebody's premises where these people have got nothing to do with the content of the stand-up comedian? So that is what I'm trying to tell you.
But Clyde, the fact is that you and your allies will be accused of hypocrisy when you say that. There was one derogatory statement made against Mr. Sharad Pawar, your leader. Hai na? Ketki went to jail. Multiple cases and stayed in jail for months on end. Kangana Ranaut said some parts of Mumbai have started resembling POK. Uska bhi freedom of expression tha. She had a right to freedom of expression like Kunal Kamra has a freedom of expression. And bulldozers were dispatched to her house. So the argument will be that you are no different from them.
Shreya, I never shy away from a question. I was expecting you to ask me this question. The fact of the matter is both those cases they are talking about, nobody went there and individually vandalized somebody's place. Nobody took law in their hands. Secondly, whatever was done through the judiciary. Okay? But having said that, hear me out. Having said that, while that was happening, these are the same people who are crying hoarse that wrong is being done, and then they go and do supposedly, or according to them, the same thing and taking law in their hands. So where is it justifies? You tell me.
Okay, Ali Daruwala, if Uddhav Thackeray was wrong then, by sending the bulldozers to Kangana Ranaut's office cum residence, by jailing Ketaki, Chitale, then what has happened today is wrong as well. Is telling a joke in this country now a crime? And if it is, and if our netas cannot take that joke, then should the parliament not debate on whether comedy shows in this country should be banned or not? Because if you don't make fun of public figures, if you don't make fun of politicians, if you don't make fun of VIPs, if you don't make fun of actors, who do you make fun of? हाथी चीटी के jokes तो बहुत पहले होते थे ना. This country gives us the right to make fun of anyone we want to. It may be in good taste, it may be in bad taste. But Kunal Kamra has a right to do what he did. He has a right not to be treated like a criminal or a terrorist, Ali Daruwala.
Yeah, Shreya, thank you for letting me in over here. I was just controlling myself. About Kunal Kamra, I watch him, I really enjoy what he says, but there is a line. I really enjoy. I mean, why should I lie? On this channel, I'm a BJP spokesperson. I have my view, I have my party's view, but before that, I really like. But then in India, where we are staying, over here, politicians, honorable, the gauze, the mandirs, the masjid, the dargahs, this cannot be a tagline in your show. If this is the tagline, then it should be eventual. It should be for everybody. It should be for Rahul Gandhi, for Priyanka Gandhi, for Stalin, for DMK. It should be for everybody. Well, no, that's not the thing now, what I want to tell you. Over here, what my chief minister said, that we want to see, is it a deep state theory? Is it anti-Sanatani? Who is behind it? Why is he targeting? First, it was our honorable prime minister. Now it is Eknath Shinde ji. Now, we should draw a line. We need to enjoy. We need to have a laugh. We need to have some lighter moments. But no, in India, over here, politicians, our goddesses, you cannot make a joke on honorable like Lokaneta Sharad Pawar ji,
Ali Daruwala ji, why are you going to gods and goddesses?
You cannot go.
Have you started believing that politicians in this country are gods and goddesses?
No, I said one.
There was no god and goddess mentioned here.
God and goddesses.
How is calling Eknath Shinde a gaddar anti-Sanatan? Ali Daruwala, सोचिए आप क्या बोल रहे हैं?
Correct. I know what I'm saying. Let me finish. Over here, is this a coffee table? Is this a school of thoughts? Are they anti-Sanatanis? Are they anti-Indians? Are they the urban Naxals? Are they from the lieutenant area where they are coming from? Whether they are targeting time and again, the present government, are they targeting? We need to get to this. Okay, second part of my theory, what I understand, Shreya, over here, who are the people? Those rioters, they're gone to jail, they're going to get the danda. Who is going to go and give them bail? Over here, we need to understand, if he says sorry, things can be totally shut over. It can be an open and shut case. I said, yeah, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Let us move on. If you act stubborn, like Kanaya Kumar, what is the people doing? Like, let's end this. We cannot have better and larger and more important, prominent things.
Mr. Ali Daruwala, just because politicians,
I really enjoy
just because two politicians and 100 of their workers, Mr. Daruwala, with due respect, Mr. Daruwala, who draws the line? You are saying we have to draw a line. Who draws the line? The government draws the line. Now the government will tell us what to say and what not to say. The government will tell us who can crack a joke and on whom the joke can be cracked on.
We need to understand it's a
Is that the democracy we want? Mr. Daruwala, is that the democracy you want?
Will you understand? Just don't lose the
common sense is ignoring what Kamra said if you didn't like it, Mr. Daruwala.
I did not like it. You're not letting me finish, Shreya, over here. In India, over here, certain things are sacred. People are very, very fond of their politicians. They cannot take a joke about them. There are certain people.
Ali Daruwala, how politicians are not sacred?
I said they are very important.
Ali Daruwala, politicians are not sacred. They are not gods and goddesses, for heaven's sake, who are above criticism.
My God, you're not understanding. See, for certain people, I said.
And if that happens, then that is not a democracy, it's a dictatorship.
They mean the earth. They mean the
and
earth.
in this country, barely a week ago, the Prime Minister of this country has said that criticism is the soul of democracy.
Do you think this will be allowed in China? Do you think he can talk about MBS in Saudi Arabia? Then why?
Are we China?
So much liberal. Over
you
here,
want us? No. Are you comparing India to China or Saudi Arabia? Is that who we want to be? Is
Shreya, you
China
need to
and
draw
Saudi
a line.
Arabia a role
You
model?
cannot make jokes on
Dictators
local
and
neta.
totalitarian
People
states and Islamic
reverend
states?
over here, who are leaders, who are reverend people, respect them. They cannot take a joke. So why I'm going to say, why mingle? Why irritate people who cannot take? You cannot talk about certain people in this country and get away with it, Shreya. Understand the fact. Why do not you drive the message back on your prestigious channel? Local neta, you cannot make jokes about them and get away. On a lighter note, yeah, we agree, I enjoy Kunal Kamra's show.
तो
But
किस
over
पे
here,
जोक
this not
करेंगे मिस्टर दारूवाला?
everybody doesn't
जोक किस पे
enjoy.
करे फिर?
Exactly, I'm saying you just leave
Mr.
certain
Daruwala,
things
but
out
then
of
who
your
will the
script.
comedians joke
Why
on?
don't you want peace over
You
here?
can't
Who
joke
are
on
the people who
politicians.
suffer? Who
Their
are the
goons
people who
will
have gone
come,
to
their
jail?
police will come with bulldozers. You
Shreya,
cannot
listen
joke
to
on
me over here.
actors, their PR army will come and troll you for months on end. तो joke किस पे करे? हाथी और चीटी पे? Tehseen
Draw a
Poonawala
line
come
over
in here. What Mr. Daruwala is saying is understand the sensitivities. And there is a line that has to be drawn. एक minute, just a minute, Clyde. First let Tehseen come in, I'll come to you.
Good evening, Shreya. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I think the BJP spokesperson is absolutely right. We are the mother of democracy and we must encourage criticism. Criticism is the soul of democracy, my Prime Minister said. So the BJP spokesperson came on Shreya's show and echoed my Prime Minister and said, India should be as vibrant a democracy as China and Saudi Arabia, and our politicians are reverent just like North Korea, so we bow down to our politicians. Okay, now that I've done my statutory bowing down to everybody, the BJP spokesperson is happy. What are we doing with ourselves? Kunal Kamra is a failed politician. His jokes are moronic, but being moronic does not land you up in jail. The only line for free speech is violence. And guess who crossed the line? The people who were offended. Until that whole offense came up yesterday, Shreya, I didn't even know that Kunal was performing. I didn't even know that this sort of a video was up. But yes, once this was happening, everyone saw that 45-minute performance. And I must tell you, it was quite a pathetic performance. There was nothing funny in it. If anyone is offended, and there is a right that the Honorable Prime Minister, the Honorable Chief Minister Fadnavis, or Mr. Eknath Shinde could be offended. There's nothing wrong in them being offended. They have legal recourse. The legal recourse is defamation. They can file a defamation case. It does not require a bunch of wannabes to go and vandalize a comedy club. Now, what happens when a comedy club is vandalized? For the basics, the comedy club is not even owned by Kunal Kamra. It's owned by Indians. They are poor Indians working there. Some of them may have had loans. Now the comedy club is shut down. So you've made a bunch of Indians jobless in your enthusiasm of showing how patriotic you are or how loyal you are to your leader. This doesn't make sense from any angle. And look, the opposition today, Clyde, my friend out here, saying, oh my God, we will stand up for freedom of speech is as hypocritical as anybody else. All these people are laughing when Kangana's house was broken. All these people are laughing when Samit Thakkar was put in jail. All these people are laughing when that actress Kekti was put in jail. And I being on the other side of the camp today, I have to roam with security because I stood up for Nupur Sharma as well. Everybody in this country is a hypocrite. Every single political party is based off hypocrisy. But the fact is, that they will not stand up for freedom of speech. When they are in opposition, they will say freedom of speech should be absolute. When they are in power, they say there has to be lines are drawn. There is one more thing that we should seriously wonder about. Are we so jobless that we've decided to make mob violence our entertainment, or is mob violence the answer to all our problems? Countries that are mobocracy will never be a democracy. I haven't said that. In Tehseen Poonawala versus Union of India, the Supreme Court said it. The Supreme Court laid down guidelines, and yet every single leader, including chief ministers, are happily flouting the Supreme Court, while the Supreme Court is happily trying to catch a judge in whose house allegedly money was burnt, and nobody is serious about how the law and order in our country is collapsing. You're showing Mr. Stalin on TV. Somebody, I vote for the India Alliance. I don't vote for the BJP. His people went and beat up another YouTuber. I don't agree with the YouTuber. They went and beat him up or threw filth in his house. Nobody is standing up for freedom of speech. And the problem with that is, it's not far away, but what the BJP spokesperson said will come true. We will be a China and a Saudi Arabia. It's not far away that will happen.
Clyde Crasto, and may I just add that in Telangana, Revanth Reddy jailed 2 journalists because he didn't like an interview where a farmer called the chief minister names. So there are thin skins all around. But go ahead.
Shreya, two things. One is what Tehseen said, and one is what Mr. Daruwala said. So I consider Tehseen my friend, so I'm not going to get personal like he said that I'm being hypocritical. Well, Tehseen, let me tell you one thing. You know me well, and people who listen to me know me well. I'm not hypocritical. Whatever is under the law, and if anybody crosses the freedom of speech line, then let the law take its course. So whether it's Ketki Chitle or Kangana Ranat or Kunal Kamra, whatever the law is prevalent, whatever law is applicable, that should happen. Nobody's sitting here and laughing when the others had wrong. If it was wrong either which ways, I will say that a spade is a spade. So let's not get there. I won't get personal. There are 3 points that Padiwala said. First and foremost, the fact that, if it was China or Saudi Arabia, these things would not have happened. That's the beauty of my country. My country is a democracy and there's a freedom of speech. So thank God for not being China and Saudi Arabia. Because if it was that, it could have been worse. But the fact is, the Shiv Seniks are trying to make it China and probably Saudi Arabia by going and doing vandalism. That's one more thing. Secondly, he said that, well, these guys cannot take a joke. That's the fact. That these politicians can't take a joke. Therefore, they're going and doing all these things, which is absolutely against the law. And thirdly, let me tell Mr. Padiwala, if you think that, there are people in this country who are considering a politician, I'm a national spokesperson. I know people when they talk to me, nobody considers us and leaders as, gods. There are only few people who are trying to score brownie points and doing chamchagiri will go and say Bhagwan hai. Nobody considers us politicians as gods. The kind of galis they give us is unbelievable. So don't say things. People are laughing at you. In Standard Life stand-up comedy when you said that, people revere the politicians as God. 90% of the people watching the mirror now will start laughing. They, who's considering you? They think of us spokespersons coming here also thinking we are fools here. We have no calm then we are coming. But some of us, like Tehseen, me, some people will come here and sit. We are talking for the people. We have our voices, though we are part of a political party or supporting a political party. We come here because we have a conscience and we want to fight and raise the voices of the people who cannot come here and talk, who cannot go out and talk. There are people who are so afraid that if they say something, people will come to their house. And when incidents like what has happened now, people going and vandalizing a comedy club because of Kamra saying something, puts more pressure on all these people who think that, if we raise our voices will be curbed, people will come to our house, goons will come and hit us. Those are the people who are represented by people like me. I'm talking for the people who are afraid. So I want to tell them, don't be afraid. There's freedom of speech in my country. Let's go and talk. These people can do what they want, but I still have faith in our judiciary and I have faith in our law.
Advocate Sushil Vyas, is this what Eknath Shinde and his goons are doing? Silencing criticism, instilling a sense of fear that if you speak up against a neta or make a joke against him, be ready to face what Kunal Kamra is facing. FIRs, an arrest warrant and vandalism and threats that he will need to leave the country.
Shreya ji, I heard all the spokesperson. The crux of the matter is jokes should be within the framework of Constitution of India, namely Article 19, freedom of speech. If somebody crosses that, forgetting that when there is a freedom of speech, you have a fundamental right. Later part of that, the same Constitution says there are fundamental duties also. Constitutional duties, we should be abide by it. If you cross that limit, then definitely you are bound to face consequences. In this case, Kunal Kamra was not doing merely a joke, as I said earlier also. He was playing in the hands of our political opponents. The time of this uploading of video, the time, the person who immediately retweeted this video which he has uploaded on X, so that has to be taken into consideration. And as I said, Kedar reacts. Today, forget about Shiv Sena. You were just discussing about Tamil Nadu. You were just discussing about Revant Reddy. Now, Clyde may not say, but 39 FIRs were filed against Ketki. So if that's the way the Kedar react. So if our supreme leaders imagine somebody is trying to tarnish without any valid reasons, then definitely the rank and file will react to it. They should not have reacted in this way, taking law into their hands.
Do you really want to call Mr. Shinde Supreme Leader? Because Supreme Leader to humko ek hi pata hai, North Korea mein.
He is for us. He is for us.
His name is Kim Jong-un.
No, may not be. You may call it. But for us, he is our Supreme Leader. He is Supreme Commander for Shiv Sena.
Okay. Okay. Now, Mr. Sushil Vyas, I ask you this. I ask you this with all humility. Does the Constitution of India forbid anyone from telling a joke against a politician? Is it unconstitutional to call a neta a gaddar? And if it is unconstitutional, then I want to ask you, Advocate Sushil Vyas, why is it only that Kunal Kamra and the Comedy Club being targeted? You should target Uddhav Thackeray as well. 100 FIRs should be filed against him. 200 FIRs should be filed against Aditya Thackeray as well. And while you're at it, file 300 FIRs against your own first Deputy Chief Minister, Mr. Ajit Pawar.
Shreya ji, why you need a Shivsena
है
to
ना,
react
अगर
on
गद्दार is the
Thackeray?
problem. If
No,
the word gaddar is problem, that many people have used the term gaddar for Mr. Eknath Shinde.
Yeah.
तो आप FIR सबके खिलाफ कराइए ना, और सबके घरों पे जरा बुलडोजर चलवा दीजिए.
Definitely. Should I reply to this? They called us like what you are saying, the word which you have used, Aditya Thackeray, Uddhav Thackeray so many times, and we went to people's court. And there was a verdict by 13 crore people, voters of Maharashtra on 23rd June 2024. The result came. Out of 288 seats, we won 235 under the leadership of Eknath Shinde, then Chief Minister of Maharashtra, under whose leadership the election was fought. And that was a reaction of Maharashtra people to the what Uddhav Thackeray and Aditya Thackeray was saying. That's the way we have reacted. So it's not that we have not reacted and people have not reacted. People have taken very seriously and they have replied.
What
People
about
of
Mr.
Maharashtra
Ajit
replied
Pawar?
on 23rd November.
He has also said some not very complimentary things about Mr. Eknath Shinde.
See, we are in alliance. We will discuss about what he has said. He has said in the past. Likewise, so many people have said about Pawar so many things. But now, once the alliance is there, we have to just
Exactly.
No.
Exactly.
Likewise,
My point.
Shreyaji,
Exactly my point. When you're in government and when you hold a position of power, don't you just need to ignore these minor petty things? Because as I said, no one on this panel except Ali Daruwala had actually seen Kunal Kamra's show till the vandalism by the Shiv Senics began. No one had seen it.
If your word which you use,
आपने उसको हीरो बना दिया कुणाल कमरा को.
If the word which you used by you is a petty things, if it is really petty things, yes, we must ignore. It is not. It is with a malafide intention, playing in the hands of our political opponents. Then it should be replied immediately. He replied in the manner in which he tried to attack us. Attack should be defended. We are defending. This is Atmaraksha. He has tried to attack us with this video uploading. We have reacted to it. If they should not have reacted in this manner. Yes, I agree with that.
A joke, the reaction to a joke is vandalism and bulldozer action. But Tehseen come in here because the ruling dispensation in Maharashtra is, does believe that Mr. Kunal Kamra is being used by the opposition to deflect attention on the Disha Salyan case. This is the second or the third time it has been said in the show.
Let's go by this, that this could be true. Let's go. This is, obviously now afterthought, but let's accept that this is true. So there are two ways to deal with this. Number one, the people who are offended in this video genuinely. The Honorable Deputy Chief Minister, Mr. Shinde, the Honorable Chief Minister Fadnavis ji, because he said that they have been closed, and the Prime Minister and perhaps the Prime Minister of Italy. All four of them have a right, including the Prime Minister of Italy, to file defamation cases. That a court can go in. That's one way. I'm not a fan of defamation, definitely not criminal, civil. They all have a right to file a civil defamation case. So go ahead and do it. I don't understand how, if there's a conspiracy, if this is here, how does first vandalizing a club and then the BMC going and breaking it down in complete disregard for the Supreme Court judgment on bulldozer justice, completely cooking a snook at the Supreme Court, is actually an act of patriotism and being justified by actually those sitting in government. I'm again asking, I have no hope from politicians. All politicians are hypocrites. They will only talk about freedom of speech when in the opposition and will justify their excesses. I am through your channel asking the most honorable Supreme Court of India, is it not seeing two of its judgments, landmark judgments in the last 5 years on mob violence and on bulldozer justice, being completely mocked by those in power? The majesty of the nation lies when majesty of law remains high. And it is the duty of the Supreme Court to uphold the majesty of the law. And let I say, and I don't care if I go to jail, like the burning ashes in that judge's house, the majesty of our courts are today being questioned by citizens who are law-abiding citizens. You cannot come on TV and justify violence, and what is the BMC is doing. This is unacceptable. There's a second part to it. I think Kunal Kamra is a failed comedian. I mean, I really find him terribly not funny. But look at what the opposition, in this case, the particular Shiv Sena group has done. They've made this guy larger than life. Look at what's happened with the YouTuber in Tamil Nadu. With the kind of harassment he and his old mother is facing, nobody perhaps would have even taken cognizance of that report on YouTube. Now he's larger than life. Why are politicians so thin-skinned? And I'm again shocked to say that politicians are like gods, and gods cannot be insulted. We come in a country where we question everything. That is the basis of democracy. We don't live in a country where there is a supreme leader. The only thing supreme in my country is this constitution. Go by this constitution. Freedom of speech may be limited, but those limits are violence, and those limits are defamatory cases. Those limits are not violence of this sort. Violence, the limits of freedom of speech is it ends where violence begins.
Okay.
And the way to tackle freedom of speech is defamation cases, not violence of this kind.
Okay. We leave it there for the moment. Thank you very much. Let's see what day 3 holds, because I'm fairly certain we've not heard the end of this debate from both parties. Thank you very much, Mr. Daruwala. I have a piece of breaking news coming in from the Supreme Court. I will have to go to that. So thank you very much. Kal phir se. Tomorrow we'll debate this again, Mr. Daruwala. You make your points, then I'll give you the first chance to respond. Mr. Vyas, thank you very much. Clyde, thank you. And Tehseen Poonawalla, thank you very much for joining us as well.